Hi, this is Ken Okel. Let's talk about what a baker knows about productivity. Maybe I'm a little hungry for sweets today, but I got to thinking about bakers because I think they're really smart when it comes to productivity and performance. And some of these lessons can help you in your business. So we're going to go through those. I want to give you a heads up at the end of this presentation. You'll have an opportunity to get a download of a little resource guide that I've put together that highlights some of the key points of this presentation. It can be a great way to refresh your memory about some of the things we talked about today. When it comes to being a baker, the tools matter. Imagine that you are making a batch of cookies. Maybe you mix the ingredients together by hand. Okay, not too tough, makes your arm a little stronger. But let's say you had to do 20 batches of cookies. Over time, your arm is going to get really tired. You may not be mixing as well. The quality may suffer. Solution, you get an electric mixer because it can mix consistently well, and it's a machine, so it doesn't get tired. That's a game changer. In your business, do you have employees basically mixing things by hand? Maybe it's time to upgrade with some software or something else that allows them to get the electric mixer. Because maybe a baker isn't about mixing the ingredients, but baking a cake or some cookies. So you want them to be able to focus as much as possible on that task rather than just that little process of mixing. Same thing for your employees. The process that you may be having them do that takes up more time may not be that important, and you may need them to focus on other things. So is there some sort of technology upgrade or software improvement that saves people time that allows them to invest that time into other priorities? Very important concept. The people who make cookies and cakes, they understand. A baker needs to read the recipe before you do anything else. You review the recipe, the steps, everything that you have to do. So that way you don't make a mistake when you're going through the process. A lot of businesses, they don't really read the recipe, and I'll explain how this applies. Let's say your business is going to have a big sale. You need this sale to be successful. It's not just about telling the world we're having a big sale. You need to make sure that you have enough inventory to support the sales that you expect. You may need more customer service people to help with questions. You may need more sales representatives to help with the sales process. And you may need distribution help beyond what you normally have to make sure people get what you've put on sale. All of these steps have to happen like a recipe. You have to have them mixed in together, working together like ingredients. You can't just say, oh, I forgot to call this person about the fact that they're going to be getting double the amount of orders or triple the amount of orders. Oh, they'll figure it out. No. You want to make sure that everyone is on the same page from the very beginning. A smart baker knows you need to preheat the oven. You've got your cake batter or your cookies ready to be baked. You want to make sure the oven is ready to start as soon as you're ready. So you preheat the oven. The same can apply in the business world, except there's not an oven, but it's about collaboration. So if you have multiple people working on a project, are they all on the same page in terms of the timeline that you need to have happen? Because sometimes one person isn't able to respond as quickly as you thought, and that stops everything for everyone. And it may mess up things like a domino effect, except it's not a good one. Make sure that everyone is able to contribute at the level and in the timeliness needed. Sometimes a workload may need to be adjusted to make this possible, or someone needs to understand until you get your work done, we can't continue on this project. So you need to make sure you're getting it done so you can pass it off to the next person. Preheat the oven. Make sure people understand the expectations. That way you won't lose time. You won't be wasting money. Along those lines, I like to tell people don't open the oven when something is baking. I understand you may need to take a quick peek, But usually you can do that through the glass window and you turn the light on in the oven, because every time you open that oven door, some of the heat goes out, and that affects the baking process. It may not bake as evenly, may take a little longer, just may not be as good. You want to keep that oven door closed as much as possible. Ken, what does this have to do with my world, you may be thinking? For supervisors, are you opening the oven when it comes to your employees? Are you watching them constantly, looking over their shoulder, checking everything that they're doing? I'm assuming you have hired good people, you have trained them well, you're able to evaluate outcomes and make adjustments if necessary. If these things are true, let your employees do the job you hired them for. Your job is not necessarily to watch everything that they're doing. You have priorities of your own. And if you're watching everyone else doing their stuff, making sure, double checking, you're taking away from time for your big picture goals. Keep that oven door closed. Let people do their jobs. Finally, you can encounter some growth challenges where everything is going well and your business is booming. You're doing more than you expected. You're doubling your business. You're tripling your business. But with growth can come challenges. You're doing the same thing, but you're having to do it at a larger scale. Maybe you're having to hire more employees. You want to make sure those employees are trained well. They understand the company culture. Sometimes a small business grows really quick and that culture is kind of lost simply because so many people came in not knowing anything about it. Other things might be, do you need more office space to accommodate the growth, or some sort of other infrastructure issue that you need to think about? Growth is good. It should be celebrated. Congratulations. But make sure your business is able to scale correctly. It's like if we went in a scenario where you were making 1 dozen cookies to suddenly 50 dozen cookies. It's great that you're able to make more, but you would need to make sure that you'd have enough baking supplies, enough mixers, enough ovens that could process that order in the time that you needed. When you scale up, you got to make sure everything else stays with it so that you can be successful. Hopefully, your appetite is satisfied in terms of understanding what a baker knows about workplace productivity. Here's one thing more, like that extra mint you get at the end of a meal. It's the download I mentioned. I'm putting the link to it in the chat box right now. If you are watching this later on YouTube or on my website, the download link will also be featured in those places. Thanks for watching there. I hope this is useful, and you are welcome to share it with anyone who you think might benefit from these points. To find out more about me, go to my website, kenokel.com, just like my name. You want to email me? The email is tvguy@kenokel.com. Quick story about that. I worked in TV news for a lot of years. When you would be out and about in the community, people would recognize you, except they wouldn't remember your name. So they would just yell stuff at you like, hey, TV guy. That's where I got the email address from. And of course, I also welcome you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I always like building my network. I do ask, when you send the connection request, include a note where you mention how we came into contact, for instance, through this video. That helps me know kind of where you're coming from. Bakers are smart. They make delicious food. I think they can help us every day on the job. I'm Ken Okel. Take care.